How's everybody doing? Good? Okay, that's good to hear. There's been a lot of great music today. I'd like to give everybody a round of applause for all the great music that's coming and it's already been here. I'm here from Be the Cure. We're a Canadian anti-war movement. We're dedicated to getting the troops back to peacekeeping. That's our goal. Today is actually my birthday, June 16th. I'm 24 years old today. But unfortunately, the only thing I could think about leading up to today when I was going to speak is Matthew Dinning. He's a young man that died in Afghanistan last year, and he was 24 as well. His parents were actually, 3 weeks ago, came from southern Ontario down here. They lived in Wingham, and they went to Ottawa, and they exposed the lie that the government had been feeding us about the military paying, or the government paying the entire bill for military funerals. I just thought it was kind of sad that today I'm having such a great day and something like that had to happen to somebody for an unjust reason. That's one of the many reasons why I founded the Be the Cure group. We are dedicating to getting our troops out of battle and restoring Canada's label as a peacekeeping country. After reading article after article and seeing news story after news story on the Canadian news, I decided that we had to do something on a national level. And if I had to be the one to stand up to start it, then that's what I was going to do. Now, I thought once I put in all the work, I put all of the facts together and put all the unbelievable things about what we're doing in Afghanistan, that people would be behind me all the way. In the first month, I've had a lot of good response, but I've got to say that I've also had anti-war flyers torn down. I've had people look at me in my group and question what we're trying to do. I've had people that I know for a fact are against this war question my motives, and they have questioned what we're trying to do as a whole. It seems to be the consensus sometimes that it's okay to be against the war, but it's just not okay to talk about it in public. That you have to support the troops no matter what. Now, we're not anti-military, and we're not at all anti-military, and we totally believe in a defense system. We totally believe that we need to protect ourselves just in case. But we're a peacekeeping country, and that's what we need to get back to. I didn't think as Canadians we would stand for our government telling us that we are going over to help the Afghan people, when in fact we've spent 10 times as much on military offensives as we have on aid. And that doesn't get reported too much in the public news. There's an old saying, if you want peace, you must prepare for war. But as far as I'm concerned, I think that's outdated and untrue. I think if you want peace, first you need to accept peace and condemn war. Right now, I just think that we need to get back to what we used to be, and about 40 years ago, where we were seen as a peacekeeping country, and as some people still see us because they're not sure about what's going on in Afghanistan. I really believe that we're getting to a dangerous territory right now because we're going to be forced into defensives if we stay in these offensives with the corrupt American government. When 15 years from now or 10 years from now, the young men and women who are losing their fathers and mothers and brothers and sisters in Afghanistan get angry and they come back for retaliation. Woo! As far as I'm concerned, they may not have been on our radar last time, but if we stay in this war with the globally despised American government and George Bush, then next time we will be. We aren't Americans, we're Canadians, and we need to be proud of that. We're peacekeepers. That's what we do well. The last time I checked, we all pay our taxes, and we all pay into the Canadian government. And that's very important, because that means that every last elected official, including Stéphane Dion, and Jack Layton, and Elizabeth May, and Stephen Harper himself, are all our employees. We elected them to do what is best for us. We didn't elect them to get into a vengeance war because they're afraid of what the Bush administration is going to think. So that's the case. Why is it that if 60 to 65% of the Canadian people are against us being in battle, are we still involved in warfare to this day? Aren't we a peacekeeping country? Don't we have a global respect as being a logical and open country? How long before we lose that? How long before we're seen as the country who will do absolutely anything the American government asks? Personally, I hope it's never. And that's why we started Be the Cure. We want to get 50 to 100,000 Canadians to stand up proudly on March 20th, 2008 in Ottawa and Toronto and tell our government, our employees, that our country stands for peace. That we are against this fabricated war and that we want our troops out of battle. Everyone here, every single one of you has the ability to fix all of these things. You have the ability to bring the troops home. You have the ability to get the brave men and women back in the military back to peacekeeping. You have the ability to stop anything from happening to this country in retaliation. I know a lot of people out there think they're just one person and they can't do a lot. But you know what? That's not true. If you get involved with this movement, you are just as important as anybody in Be the Cure. Gandhi was an unsuccessful lawyer. Martin Luther King was a preacher. Rosa Parks, before she sat on the front of the bus, was a tailor's assistant. You don't get much more regular than that. They were all regular people, and maybe one day they came to a festival just like this one, and they heard some great information, and they decided they were going to change the world. I may be the one with a microphone, but if you get out there and you tell every single person you see after you leave here, all the information I've told you and all the information we have at our booth, you're just as important, if not more important than I am. Without you, without the strong people who are against this war, without your help, we will fail. You all can fight. Use your words and your minds, not your fists. We can get the troops home together. We can get Canada back to what it used to be. If we are all united, we cannot fail. Be the Cure. Thank you, Brian.